And now we'll start with the back of this particular perennial bed. And Carolyn wanted me to be sure to show these garden walls that I made from recycled concrete. That's what they're filled with. And then put up forms, put the recycled concrete in, and then poured fresh concrete around them to hold them in place. And then just finished them up on the outside, sort of like stucco, with I think it's a mortar mix that I used. It's been too long for me to know.
And this.
Oh, okay. And this is supposed to be, here, pull it back. It's supposed to be a place to sit because it's bum height. You know, if I turn around, my bum fits there perfectly. However, I usually use it for these little pots of other things, so that's all right. I don't spend a lot of time sitting. And this was part of a pot that got broken at a nursery, and I just took it off their hands and reproduced it there. All right, this is a large persicaria. It's a clumping persicaria, and I told Carolyn, I don't remember the name of this, but it is a persicaria. You can tell by the way the leaves are growing and the stems. But again, it's not going to run. It is a clumper. And I wanted it for the back of this garden because I'm basically tired of weeding my life away, and I wanted something that was going to get big, give me some structural interest, and that I wouldn't have to worry about maintaining. And it has definitely done that job. To the foreground of this bed, we've got this white clematis, and this one, again, estrogen moment on the actual species of this clematis. It comes up with really bright purple leaves, and that's pretty much why I grow it, for the leaves and the white flowers. And what's the name of that white flower? They call it valerian, but that's not right.
On the clematis?
No, the one in front of it.
Oh.
It's not valerian, but they call it that. It's the white form of whatever that is. Little peony. And I'm working on getting some all-weather interest in this garden because in the winter it's not very interesting to look at. So I'm putting in some evergreens. We've got a rose. This little white one in the back is Glamis Castle. Oh, the little peach one is Pat Austin. So that's coming out. And those are taking a little bit of time to get established, probably because I struggle with voles in all of my garden beds. They've sort of taken over, and I've lost more roses and other plants than I can even shake a stick at to the voles. This one, which I absolutely love, is Graham Thomas. And then this is called the Alchemist. And this is a little bit like Mutabilis in that the color of the rose actually is different depending on each bloom. And we've got a geranium in the front that's probably Johnson's blue. I wouldn't swear to it, but very likely. I'm starting to put in some tall grasses, again, because I'm looking for things that are simple and that will add interest regardless of the season. And what we have growing against the arbor here is Madame Plantier. And this climbing rose blooms one time, but the bloom lasts for a long time. This is the rose that is going to eat my entire yard because I did not cut it back this year, and it clearly needs it. So after it's finished with its blooming, it's going to get a severe chopping. I usually cut it really far back every year, and I just didn't get to it. What can I say? This is something that grows up here as a weed, basically. Most people from out of state love them. Most people from in-state are just annoyed by them. And this is the common bleeding heart. There's just no way to control it. You just have to pretend that you actually planted it there. Then we've got some sea holly coming up back here. So I'll move down to this Another big Miscanthus cultivar that I'm putting in, again, for the structure and the color. I really like this one, actually. And you can see the peonies. And then what this is, we grow a lot of southern hemisphere plants up here. And this is a hebe. They overwintered beautifully this year. There have been years that I've lost every hebe that I've grown. And this year we were quite fortunate to have a very mild winter. The Santolina, I like this mixed with this pretty stipa grass. This is called ponytails. Tenuissima, I believe, is the species, but don't quote me. More evergreen. These are the Siberian irises that I got from Carolyn many years ago, and I'll just need to cut those way back now that they're finished with their bloom. Probably, trying to think of what that blue one is. Can't remember. Roses are kind of past their prime. This is geranium splish splash. And another Miscanthus. And then behind that will be a rose that I believe is the Clare Rose. Try to grow Clare anything because my daughter's name is Claire. The Clare Rose smells awesome. And by the greenhouse, almost past its prime, Madame Emil, a French climbing rose that fills this part of the yard with some fragrance. It'll rebloom if I just keep cutting it back. It'll rebloom, but it just finished its big bloom. You'll recognize this as something that you guys grow, the name of which escapes me, but I know you'll recognize it because it grows everywhere down there in Tennessee. This rose is Jude the Obscure, which is it's a pretty old rose, and it is the most fragrant thing in the world, aside from this one, which is called Teasing Georgia. And it is a lovely, lovely rose. Jude the Obscure is actually more fragrant than Teasing Georgia. And you can see through there Carolyn walking around on the other side of the pond.